Hey. Psst. Hey. What? You want to watch another high school rom-com anime with a loser protagonist? Come on, you know the answer's no. We see those every season, man. I'm tired of watching that trash. Come on, it's gonna be Moe! Fuck off, man, really? There's a gaming club. Okay, I'm in. Hey everyone, Justin here. So today I want to talk about the recently released anime, Gamers. Now I will admit, I'm not very much into gaming, so I can't really elaborate on the authenticity of the gaming references in this series, but I can talk about its story. Since the first episode just released, this is really just a first impressions video, and I don't like doing first impressions videos since those opinions typically change, but after watching the first episode of this anime, thoughts just bombarded my mind to make a video. So here we go. Gamers sets itself up to be a typical anime rom-com with a loser protagonist. You know the one, the high school boy who has average grades, average hair, average everything, and has very nervous mannerisms around girls. So basically me. Cries. Anyway, on a more serious note, that's really all it is. So why do I want to talk about it so much? I want to talk about it because of the way it presents dichotomous characters. Upon examining the main character, Keita Amano, he has those same immature mannerisms that most loser protagonists have in anime like this. Once again, he has an average look about him, average grades, and heck, he even has below average height. He's shorter than me, and I'm 5'4". Okay, sorry, that was probably irrelevant, but I have a slight Napoleon complex, so as bad as it sounds, I actually had my self-esteem boosted upon learning that he was shorter than me. Anyway, most importantly though, he lacks maturity, especially socially. That's normal since he's a first-year high schooler. It's a sophomore over here in the United States, but he doesn't have many friends, and when the school idol, Karen Tendo, whose name feels like a reference to Nintendo, but anyway, I digress, when she starts to talk to him, he freaks out instead of acting calm and composed like a normal mature person would. Tendo-san, on the other hand, stays calm and composed while talking to Amano-san. There's a moment where she does blush when she realizes that Amano-san is holding a dating sim game, but outside of that, she remains quite composed and confident while talking to Amano. She doesn't just maintain that maturity in her conversation with him, however, she's also the class idol, and because of that class idol stature, she has all of these friends about her, and though it's not explicitly stated, one can presume from her situation that unlike Amano-san, she has matured in the realm of social skills. Of course, the creators of Gamers could have stopped there, but they actually go further and express this dichotomy symbolically as well. The first symbol of difference can be found in their heights. With a 6-centimeter difference, it's almost tragic if you don't see it. Then there's this scene. After talking a little bit at the game store about the new gaming club, they take a break near the park bench. Amano is still using formal language, keigo, around her, but Tendo says that he doesn't have to be that way, and he can talk to her like a normal person, further solidifying that dichotomy between the two. After those pleasantries are over, they talk about the gaming club again. Tendo-san elaborates and says that she applied for their school because it had once had a famous gaming club. However, by the time she entered as a first year, it had already disbanded. Despite that, she finally brought it back this year. Tendo then explains that she was looking for people to bring to the newly reformed club, and that she found Amano at the gaming store, so she thought he might be interested. Then she asks,
だから一度見学に来てみてくれないかな、ゲーム部ね。
and at that point, the visual dichotomy takes place. The disparity between their maturity levels is represented by the distance between them here. Of course, this is a very obvious type of symbolism that is used in many anime and movies, but I rarely find this level of detail in anime rom-coms. Not only does the space act as a barrier, but there's also a clock in the way as well. Clocks represent time, and maturity develops over time. Note that the clock is closer to Tendo-san in this scene, and that symbolizes her maturity. While the latter part may just be my own speculation, there is no doubt that at the very least, the distance between the two serves to act as a symbol for the disparity between their maturity levels and personalities. This isn't anything new, and if there weren't so many trash rom-com anime that don't pay attention to this type of detail, then perhaps this scene would be less special. However, the fact that the animators took time to visually show this dichotomy when a lot of the other anime in this rom-com genre don't, that made it so special to me. And that's why I was so surprised when Amano-san later turns down Tendo's offer. Twice. The first rejection happens after Tendo-san shows Amano-san the club, and it's ironic because they build up this camaraderie between the members by allowing them to play an FPS together. Amano totally fails, however, but Tendo keeps encouraging him, saying that he doesn't have to be extremely skilled even though the club is competitive. This encouragement, not only from Tendo, but from the other members, creates an atmosphere of warmth and comfort in the club, which is alluring to Amano-san. And that's why it's so surprising to see him reject the offer with very little hesitation. The first rejection is surprising, but the next rejection totally flips the maturity dichotomy that the creators had set up earlier, making this scene a well-thought-out plot twist. The scene starts off the day after Amano-san's first rejection. Tendo goes up to him, but she's a bit more hesitant this time. She's not as confident as she once was. And after she's rejected again, she ends up crying and running away. Those mannerisms are totally different from the mature ones we saw in Tendo-san earlier. While Amano-san also has these unconfident, immature mannerisms in response to her second request, he still rejects her with very little hesitation, and he has good reason to do so. Here's what he says.
僕が好きなのは楽しくゲームをすることであって、互いに切磋琢磨し合うゲームではなかったみたいなんですね。だから、ごめんなさい天童さん。ゲーム部は素晴らしいと思うんですけど、僕は今後も僕なりにゲームしていたいんです。
One could argue that this response didn't make sense because Tendo-san said that he doesn't have to be very skilled to be in the club, and there's no pressure for him to be skilled. He could still play for fun. Nonetheless, even if there is no need to feel pressured to be skilled for competition, the club will always carry with it the medals and trophies to create that pressure within him. Of course, that pressure is something created by oneself rather than some objective pressure, but I think Amano-san understands that, and that gave him more reason to reject Tendo's offer. I think Amano-san understands that he would probably put that pressure on himself. He would feel overwhelmed with it. And the fact that Amano rejects Tendo-san twice, with very little hesitation for that matter, shows that he has a good enough understanding of himself that he can make decisions based off of his own convictions instead of the opinions of others. That understanding shows a level of maturity that I rarely find in rom-com main characters. That's not to say that he has his immature side as well. His nervous monologues are prime examples of that. Those immature actions show the classic male loser protagonist found ubiquitously throughout anime rom-coms. Despite that, however, Amano-san, through his rejection, also shows that he can have a more serious side, led by his own convictions, and that he can trust in himself. That side is rarely seen in anime rom-coms. Anyway, while it may not be anything special to some, it is a breath of fresh air to see a more mature side to a rom-com main character at the beginning of an anime. So I'm looking forward to seeing which direction this anime goes. Alright, with that said, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Mata ato ne!
Everything changes.